Hey YouTube, this is Obscure Visions again. The reason why I'm doing this video is because this is going to be the first video in my crystal healing series. I got a comment a little bit earlier from someone who apparently was interested in hearing more about gemstone elixirs, so that's what I'm going to teach you how to do today. It's not really going to be a hands-on kind of visual, I'm going to show you exactly what to do type thing, just because it's snowing, it's very cold outside. There is no sunlight, and there's no way I'm going outside right now. So I'm just going to kind of tell you what ingredients you need and explain the steps to you because it's not anything very difficult or complicated to do. The first thing I'm going to do is give you your list of ingredients. I'm also going to put this in the sidebar just in case you miss what I'm saying or I add explanations and it ends up taking too long or you miss something. First you're going to need a gemstone of your choice, whichever gemstone's properties you would like to be using. An empty jar or bottle, glass is preferred, like a mason jar. These work really well because there's measurements on the side, and when I get down to telling you about like how much of each ingredient you're supposed to put in, it's really easy with the jars that have the ounces labeled on the side. Next you're going to need filtered, distilled, purified spring or bottled water, basically clean water, not tap water. You do not want to use tap water because, you know, I know public water, they add extra things. They might add extra chemicals, or there's potential for microbes to be growing in the water, so don't want that. Next you're going to need a preservative, basically either vinegar or vodka. If you are underage, use vinegar. If you are older and you don't drink, use vinegar. Next you're going to need a large clear bowl, and finally you might need a smaller clear bowl as well. This is going to depend on the type of stone that you're using. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to do is choose what stone you would like to make an elixir out of and look up its properties. This is the most important step. You have to be conscious of what stone you are working with, and most importantly, whether it's toxic, irritating to the skin, or can dissolve or degrade in water. This is very important. If you discover when looking up whatever stone you want to use, any of these factors to be present, or if you're not sure whether a stone is toxic or not, you're going to need that small bowl. The reason why you're going to need that small bowl is so that you can suspend the small bowl in the larger bowl of water and not have direct contact with the water. If it's toxic and you put the stone in the water, that toxicity could end up in the water, and then if you actually use your gemstone elixir for drinking or dosages, you're taking in toxic material. That's not a good thing. If it's irritating to the skin and you end up putting your elixir on the skin, you could irritate your skin. Or if your stone can dissolve or degrade in water, you're going to end up ruining your stone, and it also might get materials into the water that you do not want to drink. So if when looking up whatever stone you want to use, you find out any of those things are true, you're going to need that small bowl. If not, you're going to be able to put your stone directly into the large bowl without any extra fluff. The next step is that you're going to need to clean your stone. Some people I've heard recommend boiling them. I don't, because this can injure certain crystals very easily. I recommend taking a little bit of water and a hard bristled toothbrush and gently scrubbing your crystal clean of any kind of buildup. Now if you're working with a particularly soft crystal like selenite, I use that as the soft crystal example because I love selenite. If you're working with a soft crystal and you're afraid that the toothbrush is going to scratch it, just kind of wipe it down with a damp paper towel instead. That usually works pretty well. You're also going to want to cleanse it astrally as well. You know, there's a couple different ways you can do that. I think I talked about that in my first video. You can actually put it out in your windowsill for a night, you know, catch moonlight. You can bury it for a full moon cycle. If you bury it though for a full moon cycle, you're going to want to, wash it again because obviously dirt. You can use another stone that's good for clearing, like sometimes I put my stones on top of my amethyst cluster and clear them. You can also clean it in salt water, but again, you're going to want to check out the properties of the stone because some stones are, not friendly to water. They don't like water, and they end up dissolving in water. So you have to be very careful with that. Or you can just submerge it in salt. Bowl of salt, put the stone in, leave it there for a night. That can clean it as well. Once you have your stone physically cleaned and astrally cleansed, you're going to want to fill your large bowl with your purified water. Next, you're going to put your stone in the smaller bowl if necessary, or submerge it in the bowl if it's not toxic. If it's not toxic, you can put it directly in the bowl of water and actually just soak it in the water. You're going to want to leave it out in the sun for 2 to 4 hours. Now, if your stone fades because of sunlight, if your stone is very sensitive to sunlight like amethyst, do not put it out in direct sunlight. Put it out in the sunlight, but not direct sunlight. You can also choose to leave it out on the night of the full moon instead and retrieve it before dawn. Either of these ways works. If you don't know if your stone is sensitive to sunlight or not, go the safe route, use the full moon. Works just as well. Next, what you're going to want to do is, after the night of the full moon is over, or after the 2 to 4 hours it's been in the sun, remove your stone from the water and pour the water of the elixir into your empty jar.